How to break out of the matrix. Part 2. You can find part 1 on my page. So the thing is, you can't actually physically leave the matrix. The matrix is everywhere. It's all around us. The only way you can physically leave is if you physically pass away. But here's how you can make sure you break out of the matrix, because this planet, hence net, is kind of like a trapping system. I'm not going to get too much into it, but please research Saturn's cube or Metatron's cube. Saturn is a karmatic planet for a reason. It is the planet that rules karma, and it keeps cycling us back here. But anyways, you need to raise your frequency before you physically pass away. If you truly want to break out of the matrix, you need to stop buying into duality or polarities. Stop buying into them versus you, capitalism versus communism, blah, blah, blah. I keep talking about this. Stop buying into dualities, polarities, extreme, different ideologies. Realize that two things can coexist at the same time. Paradoxes exist. You can have good and evil at the same time. So technically, it cancels each other out. Existence just is. It's actually order and chaos. Order is when you perceive things and you give it labels, you make it orderly, and chaos is when you cannot perceive things and everything is chaotic. For example, if a child was brought up by a pack of wolves, hypothetically, right? Their mind state would be a lot more chaotic than you because they would have no labels for anything. They were never taught language. See, this is how the elite and the people in control, and if you're not aware, the elite are hybrid human beings of the fallen angelic extraterrestrial groups. They use language and they use mind programming to make you get used to the idea of polarities and duality. Good versus evil, them versus you. Realize that we are all one. We are all different iterations of God experiencing existence. Even the water you drink and the air you breathe is an iteration of God. There is nothing that can possibly separate you from God or Source, because it's everywhere. God is everything and everywhere all at once. So when you raise your frequency and you really, really tap into the law of one, I really recommend everybody research the law of one, or Ra. This is how you raise your frequency enough to be at peace, to be tempered, to be at your center. In my opinion, this is why in ancient Egypt, the pharaoh, during the afterlife, his heart was weighed by a feather, because he had to be centered. Your heart is the center of all your chakras. Also, keep up the practical matters like eating healthy, being out in nature, don't overindulge in drugs and alcohol. But once you have your frequency high enough, you will break through the net that's over Earth, because your frequency will have surpassed the frequency of that net. That is the only way you can physically escape from the matrix.